There is a vast difference between vision and reality. It is my firm belief that development has to be a mass movement, and the foundation is the public-private and people's partnership. In all development initiatives, a proactive role of the public should be there. In reality, responsibility of development has to be passed on to the people. One has to create an urge among the people for development. Laws are not impedimental for development. When the need arises, the demand will come from the people to change the law. If there is more traffic in the city and the public find it inconvenient, there will be pressure from the people to change the traffic laws. Same is my experience as far as land encroachment in the cities. Today, it is the topmost investment destination in the country. We have achieved remarkable growth in the agriculture sector, growing at 9.6% in 7 years, contribute equally to the economy. We kept target of doubling agriculture income in 5 years, but actually we have increased by 4 times. Under Jyoti Gram Yojana of providing 24-hour uninterrupted power supply to the rural population, we have created transmission lines of 60,000 kilometers covering 18,000 villages in 1,000 days. In our country, normally it's very difficult to think about it that in 1,000 days you can have a 60,000 kilometer long cable line and 18,000 transformers. Even to get this much amount of the transformers from the company, it will be very difficult in our country. But in 1,000 days, my government did it. This needs focused attention, action plans, strategy, and a time-bound implementation schedule. If you want to make the 21st century an India century, then you need to incorporate the dreams and aspirations of the people. Development has to be given a shape of mass movement. Ultimately, we should pass on the responsibility of the development to the people. More than 4.8 lakh tons of solid slate and garbage waste were removed from the city within 5 days. This prevented an epidemic outbreak and put back the city in a normal economic activity. Technology is used for planning my check dams, roads, landfill points, etc. I no more call my district officials to the state headquarters for the meeting, but communicate with them only through video conferencing. Our urban areas have computerized civic centers to provide the service to the people, and we call it one-day governance. Through these initiatives, we have been able to make the people feel that government is here to govern and not to rule. And this is the basic concept of how to change. We are not there to rule. Our duty is just to simply govern.
What were the innovative sources of funding that made these programs possible?
In my country, the electricity companies are in a bad situation. All the electricity companies. They are making a loss. In my state also, in 2001-2002, our loss was 2,500 crore rupees, a yearly loss was there. And it was very difficult to handle this whole electricity problem. We did some reforms. We departed the companies, their functioning and everything. Then still laws are there. Then the theft, I had to stop it. It required a political will, and I did it. In Gujarat, we have a separate police station for the electric theft problem. Separate from that. But yet, still, since last 4 years, this separate police station is there, but not a single case is registered. Justice gives me strength to give a message to the people who are doing the work. And because of this reason, the company which was doing a loss of 2,500 crore rupees is now making a profit of 400 crore rupees.
The 13th Finance Commission have had discussions with about how to make sure that there is an allotment at the district level. And the response is that the Constitution doesn't permit it. It is left with the State Finance Commission. How have you done it? Is it through your State Finance Commission or what is the mechanism?
We enmark the schemes. The ultimate total number will be 22%. It's not necessary that I should say, yes, now this 2% will go there. But the total sum will be even more than 22% nowadays.
When we're talking about what would be the 1 or 2 things that would make a big difference in terms of policy. And I wanted to ask you a question based on the urban sector. Actually, 2 questions. As you reflect on what you've been able to do in Gujarat in the urban sector, can you tell me what constraints did you face or are you facing in terms of policies from the center? Because that's something that we want to take to Delhi.
There are some 20 cities that are A-grade cities. May not be on the base of population. Then India can show some 20, 30 cities to the world, like Shanghai. That can be done. That approach is not. Now what they are doing, whatever fund will go to the Patna, the same fund will go to the Mumbai. The same fund will go to Ahmedabad.
There are any programs for making for women, especially for poor women, like microcredits. And if you have also kind of scholarships for girls to go to the school, to the university, looking for equal opportunities for men and women. I think that the main goal and the main challenge for India is to overcome poverty and to give equal opportunities for everybody.
What am I doing in Gujarat? If I would have been in the Western world, people will know me as a feminist because I am a gender bias regarding as far as women's are concerned. I do believe that we have to take care of the women's health, women's development, women's participation. This is my condition. It's not my political program. When I took power, when I knew that in my Gujarat girl child education we are lagging behind, I started a movement for the girl child education. In the last 7 years, 100% enrollment and dropout from 30% to 3%. Mainly the girl child are beneficiary from the poor families are beneficiary. This is the biggest change we have achieved. Then the IMR and MMR. We have a children's scheme in my state. Any poor women who is pregnant, my government is taking care.